What's up, guys? We got Bad Research, episode 12, Lain, Hyuga and Lain versus Hikaru and Aiger. Okay, so let's get into it. So anyway, yeah. So this episode starts off with Hyuga and Hikaru and all their stuff, and they're trained with their you know like being filled with news reporters, where news reporters are like, "Hey, how Hyuga? He's won the first part of the Legend Festival," and he's like, yeah, that's right." And he's like, "How do you do it?" And and Hikaru's like, "Hey, don't get a big head." But then Hikaru says, "Hey, heroes, something about heroes," and Hyuga's like, "Who'd you tell not to get a big head?" Whatever he said. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, we get to the Legend Festival. We see them all on the We see them all on the plane, and Louie's like, "Hey, this is where your blading career. This is where your blading career ends now." And yeah. So anyway, yeah. Whatever, Louie. So anyway, just kidding. Louie's his favorite. So anyway, yeah. So Lane's just there. They would show Lane's hair when she's in the back, and then they show Lane. So anyway, yeah. So then we get to the battle. So then we get to the thing, and Hanami's like, "Hey, this is going to be Hikaru and Aiger versus Hyuga and Lane, Rentaro and Volt and Free versus Rentaro and Silas, and Dante and Louie versus whoever. They don't even mention Dante and Louie are going to mention. And Hyuga's like, "Hey, what's our strategy?" And Lane's like, "Hey, let me take care of Aiger. You just get out of the way." And Hyuga's like, "Hey, that's not a strategy." And he's like, and then we cut to after we got the spin and the title card. We see Hikaru is talking to Aiger, and Hikaru's really fascinated by Aiger. He saw Aiger's match against Volt back in Beyblade Turbo, and which I also did a review of while standing up. So if you want to check out those Turbo reviews, Jersey reviews, please check them out. They're great. They may not be as quality as now, but they're still great. So, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Hugo's like, well, yeah. So anyway, and then Hugh, then Aiger's like, "Hey, it wasn't." He still has to train to do his best, and Hikaru was totally fanboying over Aiger. Hyuga is totally like, why is Lane so stubborn? Why is he Lane who he is? So anyway, yeah. So anyway, then we get to the first battle with Hikaru goes infinite shield. Hyuga goes in. Aiger goes infinite shield, and yeah, and Aiger's like, and Aiger's like, Volt's like, Aiger's trying to go for a different, Aiger's trying to go for a defense, and yeah, it's trying to go for an offensive or something. Yeah, whatever Volt said. And yeah, so then we get into the battle. Hyuga and Hikaru, Hyuga loses, then we see Achilles' avatar. We see Lucius's avatar. We probably see Helios' avatar, and they all go each other, and Team Blue wins. Actually, no, Team Hikaru and Aiger win, and then Lane's like, goes like all dark Super Saiyan is like, Vault. He's like, he starts later on. He's like, Aiger is like, Aiger is like in the seat of the stand. Lane's like, Aiger, Aiger and Vault, you will be totally eradicated. You will be totally eradicated once I'm done. And Aiger's like, what does he mean by that? And Volt's like, impressive. Like, Vault, he wants to beat you. Like, what are you even talking about here, bro? This dude wants to defeat you. And you think it's impressive that he wants to do so? What are you talking about, Volt? Stop talking. You're talking nonsense, Volt. This dude wants to defeat you. And you're saying impressive while you're super angry? It makes no sense. It doesn't. But anyway, then we get into the second battle in the second part of the episode. It was called a God Man battle or something. It was called a battle of man friendship or something. So anyway, yeah, I think it was be changed to evolution of man of friendship or something. So anyway, yeah. So we start off with them like, hey, Hyuga isn't totally defeated by him losing the first match, but Hyuga's like, hey, go, I want to win. So anyway, so we get into where Rentaro's talking with, Silas, and Silas is like, hey, Rentaro's like, hey, the only time that you came to beat his soul was to beat Free, remember? And he gets into a fun back about how after he lost to Free, he kept training, and then Volt became world champion, and then he lost to Volt, and there was Turbo. So anyway, yeah. So he starts saying, so Rentaro loses to Silas, and he's like, hey, maybe your training those pipsqueaks have made you weak. And Rentaro and Hyuga's like, pipsqueak, who is he talking about? And we're gonna beat him, and so anyway, we get into the first battle. Rentaro, and Volt, actually Rentaro and Free versus Rentaro and Silas, and that's all going good until Rentaro decides to knock him and Volt out. So just Glide Tornado, so he and Volt can be knocked out. So Free can get his revenge on. So Silas can get his revenge on Free, and it's like, hey, you didn't have to do that. But Free ends up winning anyway. So anyway, yeah. So yeah. And basically that kind of wraps up this episode. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Have a good wonderful night, wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Beyblade Bird Surge. Beyblade Bird Surge. See you guys.